welcome to Dilemmas with Jess Ellis. And I'm very excited because we've got our very own Nana today. That's what we like to call her.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. It's Nana. It's Nadine Mulkerrin. Have I said that right?
You have.
People on it, like, it's like Amy's surname. People's surnames are just... Why can't you just be called Nadine Smith?
Well, one day I might be called Nadine Speed.
Oh, yeah. Because
weird.
you are, in fact, engaged to Rory Speed.
I'm betrothed to a Scottish man.
So, for anyone that doesn't know who you are, Nadine, do you want to give us a little look like you're on a date with me? Just tell me who you are, where you come from.
So, I'm Nadine and I'm from Yorkshire.
Oh.
And I'm 25.
You're 25?
I am. Yeah, I've been on Hollyoaks for 4 years now.
Oh my goodness.
So, time flies when you're having fun.
At one point, actually, in Hollyoaks, we became friends just for a little bit when your sister died, and then we didn't.
Yeah. I like doing scenes with people that you're actually friends with, like if you're in the loft and you've got to be dancing.
Yeah,
it's so
cringe.
And there's no music and you're like, oh. But if it's with like you lot or the McQueens, like I feel at home. But when you've got to work with like new characters, it's just a nightmare.
Or like extras. I've had to kiss people before and it's just so embarrassing because you just don't know them, or you have to like eye contact them and dance like, yeah, I'm having a good time. And like you say, when it's your friend,
yeah, you can
like,
flag it.
For people that obviously are not in this industry, eye lines is a thing.
Yes.
So basically, just to explain this, when you're setting up for your scene, they ask you for your eye line, which means that you just have to directly look into the other person's eye without talking for maybe quite a long time while they set the cameras. Now, again, this is absolutely fine if you're friends. But if you've just met each other, have you ever met a stranger and directly eye contacted them and not spoke? It's very embarrassing.
It's very awkward.
It's like, who's going to move their eyes away first?
Yeah.
It's very embarrassing.
Talking about essays, I remember once someone telling me that the boy and girl were asked in a club scene, like, oh, can you just kiss? And they did, and then afterwards they didn't dare say that they were brother and sister. No! Yeah. That is like a legit story. Like, why wouldn't you just say, oh, I can't, that's my brother?
That is a brilliant dilemma. Like, oh my God, I really like this job and I just want to work and they've just asked me to kiss him. Just don't tell mum.
Imagine. And then
God, they could get done.
Yeah, that happened.
That is absolutely brilliant. So, before you did Hollyoaks, you did Waterloo Road.
I did. With Chelsea Healy.
And you also did this horror film that my dad loves. That every time I see him, have you seen that film with Nadine?
Oh,
hilarious.
That was something I did. I think that was the first film I ever did, and I was like 17. It was filmed in Yorkshire in Thirsk, and it was so bizarre. It's like kind of like League of Gentlemen vibe, like weird.
What's it called?
Inbred. That's not a plug.
Oh my God.
It's so weird.
Can you watch it on Netflix or anywhere?
I think it'll be like randomly. It'll be like on the horror channel. Like random people come up to me at work all the time.
I think that's where my dad was like, "Did you know?" And I was like, "No."
Honestly, people will just come up to me and be like, "Hey, I was watching a horror film last night called Inbred, and you were on it." And I'm like, "Oh my God, what are you doing watching Inbred at like midnight? Weird." But,
oh my God.
Yeah, I got killed by a ferret. Spoiler.
Did you?
Yeah, no, it's actually mental. Yeah, it's
so
brilliant.
Obviously, Rory has been on this podcast.
I know. Yes, I listened to his episode and he talked about me.
So what did you think of Rory? We did talk about.
It was good.
We talked about the fact of one of the dilemmas was about sneaking around and not telling people at work.
That was
stuff.
funny. It was really weird listening to that podcast, knowing you were talking about, like, with my mates talking about me. That was so weird.
Yeah, I bet. Because we were talking about the famous story of me dropping you both off and him going, just drop me off around the corner at mine, and me being like, get out.
I was like, shit, the game's up. I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely a protection thing of like, until we know for sure what's going on. But it was just so funny. Like, we knew that you knew. Oh my God. I remember literally regularly you'd be like, have you shagged him yet? And I'd literally be like, no.
And part of me believed you. What an idiot. It's just because you were so sweet and unassuming. I was like, no, she'd have told me. Little did I know they were at it like ferrets.
Oh, we were.
So you've listened to this podcast.
I have. I'm a bit of a fan. I loved Mate. Oh, no, I know. I've played this game with you before and I fucking hate it.
They're disgusting. So we've got a new rule. I don't know if you've listened.
What?
That even if it is a bad one, you've got to chew it and swallow it. So, you know, like in I'm a Celebrity, it doesn't count. You don't get your star if you don't swat. You've got to show your mouth afterwards.
All right, okay.
Why don't we play so that I have to pick yours and you have to pick mine?
Okay.
I'm going to go for the only white one left.
Oh, no. Oh, my
Sorry.
God. Do you know what that is?
Milk, is it
Tutti Frutti or rotten milk?
Oh.
Right, let me see.
Oh, red.
So that is strawberry or fresh blood. Are you ready?
Ah,
1, 2, 3. Oh my God, Tutti Frutti, thanks.
Strawberry.
Oh!
Woo!
Well, listen, because we both got good ones,
Come on.
at the end of this podcast,
Okay.
I hate to tell you, I'm going to have to come back to it. Okay, you ready for our dilemma?
I am. I'm so
This-
excited.
This is a long one.
Is that all one dilemma?
Yeah, it's a 2-pager.
Wow.
This is Pippa, 26, from Cambridge.
Oh, hello, Pippa.
Hello, Pippa.
You sound very posh.
Yeah, we're stereotyping
we
there.
are.
It was like Kieran talking about people from Camden being cool. Hi, Jess. One of my housemates, in brackets, I live with 4 other girls. Oh my God, poor you.
Yeah. I can sense where this is going already.
Is a complete and utter slob. How she can look so pristine for photos on Instagram, but then be so fucking messy at home is beyond me. It's actually disgusting. Right now, there's washing up on the side, which has honestly been there since Valentine's Day.
Oh, dear.
Here's the dilemma. Her boyfriend has been living in her room for the past 6 months, and the landlord kicked out one of the girls I used to live with last year for the same reason, saying that she was illegally subletting. Do I dob on the slob? Brilliant. Absolutely great. I want that on a t-shirt. Do I dob on the slob?
Sounds like a Channel 5 shitty program.
A documentary. I'm fed up of tidying up after her, and I must have asked her 100 times to start showing the house some respect.
Wow. I feel this girl.
Yeah, because you are quite a clean and tidy person.
I am. I'm a nightmare, and I've lived with people, especially moving to Liverpool in this job. I've lived with Mandip, who played Phoebe. I've lived with Alfie Brown, who played Jason. I've lived with Amanda Clapham, who played Holly. And it's really fucking hard living with people.
Yeah.
Because everyone has their own way of doing things. Everyone has their own standards of what they think is clean and what other people is not. And I am definitely a little bit of a clean freak, OCD, weirdo.
Yeah.
And I know that.
You like everything to be in its place,
Yeah.
don't you? Like, my house must be like an absolute nightmare for you because there's just like bits and bobs everywhere.
But I love it because it's your home. But
Yeah.
if we had to live together and I had to live here, I would be trying to like sort out your mail and like put everything like
When
away.
Carla came to stay, she like gutted the kitchen.
Yeah.
She threw like 5 bin bags, and I was like, okay, cool. Like she honestly spent a whole morning doing it, and she was like, I really enjoy it. I was like, okay.
I'm a bit like I've literally have memories as a child. I must have been younger than 7 and not putting a jigsaw away and like not being able to sleep.
I do remember you asking someone to sleep on top of your cupboard.
She won't mind. I know
she won't mind you saying it.
Tam once was like, Nadine, can I stay in your bed? And I've got like white company, fresh white sheets, and
That's
just
another thing about
wash
you.
them.
Everything is so white.
Yeah, everything's so white.
Everything's it's just like a sofa and a white thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Tam, obviously, she loves fake tan and her makeup and all the rest of it. And I that is mortifying. I think I genuinely asked her to make sure she took off all her makeup and sleep on top of the sheet.
so you basically said to her, take off all of your makeup and sleep on top of the sheets.
Oh my God, I'm a psychopath.
No, I actually think that's genius. Like, I just would not have the because you like what you just said. We were talking about before. You don't like confrontation, and obviously that's not confrontational. But you know what you like. Like I would.
Yeah.
Even if I just bought brand new sheets and a brand new bed, I could never say that to anyone.
Oh my God. I think that was at a time, this is what I will say, and Amanda won't mind me saying this either because we've since had chats about this when we lived together. I, at the time, was quite stressed and I was going through my own personal, like, kind of knew I was, like, breaking up with my boyfriend and stuff. So I was quite stressy and a bit uptight. And I think I took it out on Amanda. Like, if she didn't take the bins out or whatever, I would get super stressed about
because
that.
then you didn't have to think about what the real problem was.
Yeah,
so you'd get really angry about the bins instead of what was going on.
100%. Like, little things would wind me up. but it's because in my own brain I had stuff going on.
Yeah.
And we went out for dinner and I was like, I'm sorry, and like started crying to her because I was just a bit mental, but it was because I had stuff going on.
But I mean, this dilemma sounds to me like this girl's just being a slob, and like we all know them. I've been in I've lived away from home since I was 19. I've lived in halls of residence. I've lived in different places. I mean, to be fair, I've mostly lived with gay men apart from Michael.
Women can be really messy,
and also like I'm quite messy, right? But this was always my rule when I lived in shared houses. Like, this is the first, like, I've lived with a few people in this house, but I've mainly lived on it on my own before Michael. But if I lived with other people, my rule would be my bedroom could be like, it could be like World War II.
Yeah.
But as long as the common spaces, I always was respectful of that. So obviously this is mine, so it's all decorated like me. But when it wasn't, I'd always wash up my plate straight away, because someone else might, or a pan or whatever, or the living room, the bathroom, and the kitchen.
The bathroom and the kitchen, if they're in like she's saying, she leaves the dishes out, like, that's just laziness. And also it's like, once you get into the habit of being the person that always cleans up,
because you know that someone's going to do it. If they need that plate, they're going to do it in the end. And then people get into a cycle. And like, it's not fair. Like, have all shit in your room. But I guess the dilemma she's saying is that also that a boyfriend.
This is another thing. I've got a lot of friends, especially who live in London, and the like rent is really not cheap. And every other day they'll have the boyfriend round. Well, that's like an increase on the water bills.
No, but
and
it's
like
true.
Not being, it sounds like you're being like a naggy, like annoying housemate. But come on, it's just like it's common decency and it's respect and it's money.
Yeah, I've got friends that have been in similar situations, and also like, single friends that might not know this guy that wants to walk around in their pajamas, or like, you want to feel comfortable at home.
You don't want to feel like
slob about
100%.
or like wear whatever you want or come out of the shower, and it's not fair. Like, if you two want to live together, then you go and live with other couples. I do think it's quite like unfair to do that to other people.
It's just taking the piss and a bit disrespectful. But the one thing I would say, as always, is like, try and have like, I don't know, you can have a glass of wine one night and just like try and talk about it.
Yeah.
Try and be honest. Try and air your views without getting too like meh.
Because it doesn't sound to me like they're really good close friends. But
She calls her the slob. What is it? Do I dob on the slob?
Dob on the slob. I just think like there's two issues here. You're upset because she's being untidy and she's been horrible in communal areas, and the fact that her boyfriend's there, and like we said, that's an increase on money, privacy. So I would say, do you know what, if you're not really good friends with her and it's just someone you're living with, then dob in the slob.
Just
like, don't have to have that eggy moment where you go, should we have a glass of wine, should we have a talk, because actually
she's taking the mickey.
You don't need that in your life. It's a boring thing that you have to go through of negativity.
Dob on the slob?
Dob. I'm going to say, just fuck it, dob on the slob. Right, are you ready for our next dilemma?
I am.
Oh, this is Anna, 19, from Grimsby. Hi, Jess. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years. Ever since we met on holiday when I was 16.
Young.
He proposed last week, and I, of course, said yes. But my family aren't happy, and all of my friends are saying I'm too young. Am I? I mean, I can legally do it, so should I tell them to mind their own business? Right, okay. She's been with a boyfriend for 3 years, and she's 19.
So they met at 16.
And she's engaged.
What do you know? I genuinely believe wholeheartedly on the saying, when you know, you know.
Yeah. But do you think you know when you're 19? I think about myself when I was 19, and I wouldn't have known. But then I wasn't in a 3-year relationship. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know if the decisions at 19 I would make the same decisions that I'd make at 22.
Yeah, it is a tricky one. I know people who first people they've ever been with.
Because you're 25, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of your friends are engaged, married, babies, aren't they?
Yeah. I've got a group of girls from back home, and they've all had long-term boyfriends for they've 9-10 years going.
Like my friend from back home, Tina. So obviously she's 32 now. She got with Patrick. He was the year above us in school. And they got married at 25. And that's the only person that she's ever been with. And it works for them. But like, there's part of me that's like, what? Like, I've loved playing the field, if you know what I mean. But No, like, I'm not going to say it. Mum listens to this. But, you know, I've done my bits and bobs, and I feel now that I can turn around with Michael and go, you know, that's why I moved in so quickly. And it's because I just was like, well, I'm older, I know, I can't ever miss that life. I can't ever go, oh...
I'll be honest, I was in a long-term relationship before, childhood sweetheart type of thing. We'd known each other since we were like 14, on and off. And I do think it's important to be with other people before you find the one and figure out what you want and what you like.
Because from 16 to 19, you're a different person. From 19 to 23, you're different, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like... I mean, it depends. Like, are we just thinking, oh, you get married and you just stay in and that's all you do? But
I guess what I would say to her for her specific problem is, what's the rush?
Yeah.
Like, it's so nice that he's asked you, but like, what's the rush? So, like, me and Rory have got engaged, but to be honest, I can't see us getting married for a long time. Just because it's lovely to be engaged.
You've made that commitment to each other. You've gone, listen, we're engaged, but we're still quite young and I'm not ready.
It's expensive. Yeah. It's like, and we'll figure out what we want to do. It's like a big deal. And I just think if she's 19 now and a family are freaking out, then she can just be engaged for 5 years. There's no rush on it. There's no time pressure.
Do you think, like, taking all of those elements out of the picture and focusing on the end of the dilemma, do you think she's 19, like she says, you know, she legally can do it. Do you think her family have got a right to say that she, like, kick off and say that she can't?
I mean, we don't know, like, little things like, do they even live together? Because that's one thing that, you know, you really find out a lot about someone when you live with them.
Absolutely.
Do you want to pick his socks up off the floor for the rest of your life? Ask yourself that.
Oh, Rory, is that you? No, but it is a different dynamic.
100%.
Even going on holiday with someone, even friends, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Living with people is so telling.
Yeah, it really is. I just think that, I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, you know, you can't marry the first man you meet, because people do and they have very happy lives. Everyone's different.
What would your mum have said if you came around and said you're engaged at 19?
I remember vividly, actually, my first ever boyfriend, her saying something like, oh, are you going to marry him? And I said, I might do. And like fully believed that I might. And then he dumped me.
Oh, got it.
So I think, yeah, to be honest, I think my mum would have been like, oh, and like tried to knock some sense into me. And I don't think she would have been impressed. Because it's very young. You're a teenager. How are you going to even pay for it? Is your parents going to have to? Like, it's a bit...
Because I think it's weird now, isn't it? Because obviously back in the day, like, well, let's say, like, I mean, my mum and dad got married at 25, but even that to me sounds really young now.
Yeah, my mum had me at 21.
Generation-wise, that's people used to do that. But then we're different now, you know. Women are getting big careers. That's why people are having babies later and getting married later, and they're just living their lives a little bit more. I do get where she's coming from, though. It is like, if you've been with someone for 3 years and they pop the question, it is a very exciting time. And then to tell your family and them to kind of dampen it, that must be really hard.
That's if you to get a negative reaction to that, something that you think is really happy news. That, you know, even this question, I'd love to like find out more. Like, well, is he nice to her? Is it a good relationship?
Yeah.
You know, for all we know, he might be really controlling. The family hate him for very good reasons. But it's such a shame for her.
And you've got to think to yourself, listen, do you want, if you do run off and get married and you're saying, you know, we're legal, we could do it, do you really want to look back on your wedding day or your pictures and go, oh, it's just me, him and some random person at the registry office as a witness? Do you know, don't be rash about it.
Yeah. Don't do something because you think, oh, I'm going to prove them wrong, you know.
Like, a reason that I would get married is because I love that person. But another reason is because for me, marriage, I like the idea of celebration with your family and friends.
100%. Yeah, it's a big party.
Yeah, that would be the main thing for me, a big party of a celebration of you two, but with your friends and with your family. I would just say, I think the best advice is what you said. Like, turn around to your family and say, listen, you know, we do love each other, we're engaged, but have a long engagement.
Yeah, there's no rush. There's absolutely no rush.
You've made that extra commitment to each other.
Yeah,
you've gone, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Now, you know, we're engaged. But that doesn't mean that you have to get married next week.
Yeah, it doesn't mean, This is the best bit. Just enjoy this bit and figure out, you know, and hopefully it'll all go...
Don't fall out with your family over it, you know. In 3-4 years' time, if you still want to get married, then, you know, then you can say, listen, it worked, we want to get married. But I wouldn't just, you know, tell them to mind their own business. I'd try and talk to them about it rationally.
Just because you legally can doesn't mean you have to either.
No.
So.
And don't take... that's a kind of like, if anything, an immature response. And you're playing into their hands by saying, well, if you don't let me, I'm going to
run off and do it anyway.
It's like when I don't like this house, I'm leaving. And then you get around the corner and think, I've got 50p in my pocket. What am I going to do? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I need a wee.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. It's been 2 hours and I only had a one bar. So, yeah.
I think just enjoy it, and, you know, you might get to 20 and you want to just, I don't know, you might want to explore.
You might want to do bits and bobs, like I said. Okay, this is Rosie, 24, from Exeter. Hi, Jess. I consider myself to be quite sensible. Ring any bells? And what I mean by this is that I much prefer a quiet night in with Strictly and a glass of wine instead of clubbing until the early hours in town.
This is a girl after my own heart, I tell you.
I was really excited about a girly holiday in June. In my head, it would be sangrias in the harbour, nice chilled days around the pool. You get my drift?
Yep.
Nadine, that sounds like you. Have you got any pale roses?
Yes, have you got any whispering angel?
However, I just found out that they've booked a week in Kavos. Oh my God, Kavos stinks. I've been there. Because the deal was about to expire, so they couldn't wait to ask everyone. I'm a bit pissed off, but but do I get over it, go to Kavos in June and try and make the most of it, or do I ask for my money back?
Oh.
So she's 24.
Okay.
I would say, right, I've been on these holidays. I've been to Malia, I've been to Kavos.
Yeah.
But I was 19.
Yeah.
And actually, I've been in those environments at this age, and I've been in those environments at 24. Mm-hmm. And even at 24, I felt old. Because it is full of 17, 18-year-olds.
Part of me's going, live in the moment, YOLO, fuck it, have the best time ever with your girls, as long as you're with your best friends, like, who gives a shit where you are?
That is so true. Like, we've been in places before where it's terrible, a dive. Like,
for your 30th, we went to Benidorm.
Oh my God.
Rory got ran over by a mobility scooter. I will never forget that memory. It was, you had a stripper and I've never seen you so uncomfortable, the girl that's never shy. It was the best weekend of my life.
Yeah, it was fucking brilliant.
And it was the company, and we were in Benidorm.
And, it was a mixture as well, wasn't it? Of like different ages, couples, not couple, pretend not couples. But yeah, it was a proper mixture of ages and things like that. And it didn't matter, did it? It was like we were dancing to shit music in these cheesy clubs with fish bowls, but it was great.
You can have fun if you're with your best friends. But what I will say is like me and Rory this last year went to Cape Verde.
Oh yeah.
And we felt like such snobs because there was cockroaches in the fridge. It was just like the buffet, it was just a bit shit and not what we were expecting. And if this woman is wanting, this might be her only holiday for the year for all we know, and she's expecting like like she says, really nice sangria, and she's got this vision in her head, and she's off to Kavos, then I do catch her drift, even though part of me is like, oh, just go with it, just go with the flow, live in the moment. But if she's paid all this money expecting, a really lovely holiday,
I guess what's she going to do instead? And also, like we said, she could end up having the time of her life.
Yes.
And also, if you want to drink sangria in the day, and if it gets to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and you want to go home, go home.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? You can always go to bed.
There's no judgment.
Yeah, you don't have to stay. If your friends aren't going to be like, you're boring or whatever, they obviously know what you like.
Yeah.
If you've got a friend that's in your group,
she's a sensible one.
Yeah, like like Carla. Do you know what I mean? She loves she knows a limit. She loves a party now and then. But like she was saying on the podcast that her best thing was she thinks that everyone should go out at 5 o'clock. Have some food, then get absolutely pissed, and then be in bed for 10.
Yes, I love that. I take a book to Ibiza. So.
Do you? I take a book to Ibiza.
Yeah, I do. I freaking love it.
Yeah, but that, at the end of the day, I'm guessing that you're 24. You can be yourself with your mates. Mm-hmm. You might find that you're the fucking wildest one there. You might have the best time of your life. You might be on that bar, tits out.
I mean, bro. Yeah. Kavos, don't they do those games where it all gets super sexual and
I think all of those places are literally the same. They're a mini little England, like full of like the Rose and Crown. Fucking Only Fools and Horses is playing. There's a breakfast for £3. Yeah. There's no like.
Oh my God.
There's no Greece. There's no Spanish culture. There's nothing.
I think with those types of places, you either just get involved or you go home. Like, just have a laugh.
And I don't think they've done this intentionally to piss you off.
No.
They've obviously got a good deal.
Yeah.
And they've done.
They're all going to get T-shirts, aren't they? With printed on the back.
Mate.
She's going to have the sensible one.
Mate, I had Malia 05, and on the back I had Nutter. I'm going to find that picture and put it on on our socials because...
Brilliant, of course you did.
And I had this Tony and Guy haircut. I looked nothing like a nutter.
I once went on, like, when I was having a bit of a... Like, I was waitressing, all my friends went off to uni, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? And we went to Outlook Festival, and we got on a coach. It was a party coach, and it rained all weekend. It was in Croatia, and the coach took about, like, over 70 hours to get there. God. It was the worst weekend of my life, and all the girls loved it, and I literally had like a bit of a tantrum and a breakdown.
Yeah, I have been in those situations where you're just like, I'm not having fun.
No,
I'm not having fun. But flights are cheap nowadays. Go for a couple of days, come home.
Yeah.
If you don't like it.
I think just try it. Just try and enjoy it. Life's too short, and you'll regret it. What are you going to do? Sit at home and watch Countdown?
When you're watching their stories on Instagram,
exactly,
you're going to be like we say, like. It's not like you're going, oh, well, I've got the option to go with someone else or my boyfriend or whatever. Yeah. Just go for it. And then you never have to do it again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you have thought to myself, I'll have a really good time in Benidorm?
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it.
No. And I had the best time ever.
Yeah.
I think with those types of things, you just put your expectations and like, just get over yourself, lose all your inhibitions and just go for it and have a laugh.
Yeah. So, Nadine.
Oh.
Thank you so much for being a guest on Dilemmas with Jess
I was
Ellis.
so nervous.
But you didn't need to be, did you?
Was I good?
You were so good. I've been meaning to get you on here for ages.
Oh. No, I loved it. I've been a fan. I've been like proper listening. Everyone's been such good guests. I was like, am I interested in her?
Oh, here she goes again. Let's all get a violin out for her. Oh, am I going to
I've really enjoyed it.
Tell me I'm good. You were brilliant, Nadine.
Yeah, come on, feed me.
No, it's been great, and it's so nice to just hear different people's opinions.
Yeah,
and
I feel like we had pretty similar opinions on a lot of it, didn't we?
Yeah, no, we were quiet. We came as one. We weren't conflicting.
I want like a follow-up where we get to hear like, did you take our advice? Is that girl still going to get married? Like, I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about that.
That's a really good idea. So if people are listening and that was your dilemma, you can send it to us anonymously. And we just want to know.
I do. I'm nosy.
Because we're nosy bitches.
Oh my God.
But to finish off this to finish off this episode, obviously we both got really nice sweeties. So let's do it again.
Can I do the noise? Oh, brown.
Yeah, go for brown.
Is this either dog food or like...
Yeah, go
on.
What
is it? Oh.
Right, I'm going to go for green.
Oh, no.
And remember, you've got to chew, swallow.
Oh, God.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God! No!
I've got watermelon. Yes!
This is so disgusting. This is so awful. Oh, God.
But thank you so much, Nadine.
Thank you. Can I do the end bit?
Yeah.
Is it? So, rate, review, subscribe, and leave a nice little comment, please.
That was all out of order, but I loved it, so we're just going to let it go.
Okay.
You've been listening to Dilemmas with Jess Ellis, and we hope you've enjoyed this podcast. If you have, you'll make Bob the dog very happy if you could click subscribe, give Dilemmas a rating, and also leave a review on Apple Podcasts too. And of course, if you've got a dilemma, then get in touch via the Dilemmas socials at DilemmasJess on Instagram and Twitter. Finally, don't forget, nobody's got their shit together, and you're doing just fine. Thanks for listening.